we look at the world holistically and take ourselves out of the paradigm of being black or sympathizing with whatever's going on our side of the map, on their side of the map, in their belief, in their education, it tells them that this is their land. They are inhabitants of this land. Their newspapers tell them that immigrants are taking over the land. The newspapers tell them that black folks are running around stabbing each other and are lowlifes and are not really meant for shit. That they've got political leaders and group leaders that are basically military personnel, government operatives, spies, all sorts of shit. So they're getting head topped. Now, you got to look at the elaborate ruse that is set up to blind the white man, the European, both in America, Australia, and Europe. Yeah, so there's a ruse they're put there to keep them in their box, and that ruse is that as long as you stay in your box, yeah, and you keep that buffer of black and brown people underneath you, you ain't gonna suffer. They start getting antsy when they realize that certain men that are black and brown might be getting better treatment, but they're not educated enough. They're not critical thinking. They're not as well versed in critical thinking to analyze and realize, hang on a minute, we're getting fucked over too. In fact, this ain't about color. This is about class. In fact, this ain't even about class. This is about bloodlines. Yeah, this is about bloodlines. And once they get to that grip, then it's game over. See them Texas rednecks and that? If you could ever penetrate their skull and reach out to them and make them understand what their government is doing to them, yeah, it's collapse. The man have got tanks, the man have got this, the man have got that, and the man are ready to die.
All the militia man,
all these bored young men, they got no jobs, they got nothing going on in there. They're living they're hood youths. That's their version of hood youths. And they think what they're on is a righteous thing. Lots of them think what they're on is a righteous thing, or it's the thing to be on. Sucked in, whatever. We got to look at them like humans. If there's ever a way to reach out to them, I'm seeing like one of them was on someone's live stream. He's just melting. He was there chatting racist shit, very rare. And now when he's on a live stream, he's just melting. Like, but I didn't, I'm not racist at all. And rare, because it's genuine fear. You should be scared of me. I know white guilt might make you feel like, wow, when these not getting power, or if these not getting power, they're going to fuck us over. They're going to do this. Maybe you're worried about the treatment that your forefathers are given, and like you don't want to slip. You don't like, even though you don't agree with it, you don't want to let go of that power and end up on the bottom of the social economic ladder. I get that. Things are already slipping. But if there was ever a way to connect those two people or those two mindsets, ours and theirs, I think that's when you'd really have a revolution on your hands. And until then, it's just warring factions that are getting divided and conquered.
No, I fully agree. And I think too many people are getting caught up on the black versus white rather than the system's oppressive. And if we can switch the narrative they're trying to give us to the one that is system versus us, then I feel like we have way more in common. And are working towards the same thing ultimately. Because we all want the same thing ultimately. It's just...
It's like what do you
like
want?
You said.
You don't want the north of England? Have it. You want the north of... Have the north, man. I've seen what do you call it? I've seen Game of Thrones. Have the north. What do you want? You want your own communities? You want to have places where it's just white and that? Have it. Why not? It's your land. Do what is it? Do you know what I mean? What is it you lot want? That's what we should be asking. Because you definitely can't be logically, there's got to be logical people out of your whole group. And some of you have got to be like, nah, well, at the end of the day, it's no point having fighting for a slave trader's fucking statue. Because if it's just that you don't like black people, just get off your chest. But no one seems to be able to say it with their chest right now. They've been backed into a corner where they can't say that they're racist and they really want to. They really want to, but they just can't because they got a code. And the code is, you can't, if you say racist, then it's a witch hunt. Just like certain man won't say anti-Semitic or whatever. They don't want to start that smoke. Certain man won't talk about LGBT. They don't want that smoke. And I understand it. Especially, these men have got jobs, or some of these men have got jobs and they don't want to lose their jobs. And it is what it is now, man. Hopefully you wake up. Like I said, once you realize that Tommy's playing a game with you, and he don't give a fuck about you, and he's getting paid by some other dudes, do you know what I mean? Then, I don't know, like Tommy Robinson has been losing his following, innit? this is a last
Do you
ditch,
think this is like? I think I heard you say this
last
earlier on
ditch
your
attempt
YouTube
to
thing.
like
Still, yeah,
make
last
themselves
ditch.
relevant. And there's a lot of people making themselves relevant right now. All sorts of guys. John Barnes, everyone's coming out of the woodworks. You know what I mean?
Yo, fam, talking to John Barnes, what do you think of these black spokespeople they seem to be giving us all the time? And they'll come out with one thing every once in a while, and then the rest is just bullshit. Like,
It's our fault. It's our fault for owning screens.
real talk.
You know what I mean? If we never had screens, we wouldn't know who none of these people are, man. That's why.
So
This is
how do
why.
we take back? How do we take back the voice?
How we take back what?
The
What voice?
voice, or do we just, like you said, not as in you see like the spokespeople, like
Yeah, but like
um,
the mediums that we use to communicate are not ours. So either we control the mediums, so therefore we can control the voices that go on, or we just don't use the mediums at all. You know what I mean? I don't think that these mediums like are effective for saying what I really want to say to you. Like because I've got to, bear in mind the community guidelines of things I can and can't say. So it's not free to talk. Do you know what I mean? By the way, just to let people know, because I see a really important post, if you lot are strategizing anything whatsoever of a sensitive nature or whatever, just private, please don't do it on Zoom. Zoom are refusing to encrypt their messaging, and they've said directly it's so that they can provide information and work with law enforcement. So, like, don't use anything on, like, don't say nothing deep on Zoom, innit? Yeah.
and man, them like you were doing a series on the art of war, so I really do feel like we need to utilize, because there's a lot of brothers that have been reading for the longest, and they're not utilizing what they're reading now in the times when a lot of it should be being utilized. And I don't think there's any real planning or strategy or thinking towards a lot of things.
No, because there's not one unified movement. Maybe at some point that'll be something that comes out of it. Hopefully, at some point that'll be something that comes out of it, and people may start learning how to strategize and how to. But like I was very, very judgmental and harsh on everything, and now I'm just like, you know what? I could use that energy better in, like helping the people. I can use that energy better rather than like being like you shouldn't be doing this. It's a setup. I said George Soros to him blue in the face. Me and you, we've been talking about George Soros since 2016, 2015. Like I'm bored of it, innit? Like, but
I feel you.
it's a testament to the fact that nobody really is looking at the fine print anymore. So if you're blessed with a brain that does that, or blessed and cursed with a brain that does that, then that's your burden, innit? Don't feel too. Don't take it too personally when other people are not reading up on stuff or whatever. We're just not in them times. We're not in them times. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And as much as I'd like to start a good education program for everyone, they don't want to know. How many people on the internet? We've got 72 people here. I'm very grateful for the 72 people that's come in to watch and that. But if I get a girl to come here now and start twerking, this is going to go up to a couple thousand. And and this conversation here is the realest shit you've probably heard all day, and that continues to be our experience. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's there's wokeism out here, man. People are woke.
Trust.
You know what I mean? And like, these type of conversations, they're not always fun. They're not popular. I might say some mad shit. I might not be like polished, and man's rough around the edges. Man smokes. Man swears. You might know some fuckeries about me. But we ain't all got that PR company behind us. We don't all get checks from the BBC. We don't all get endorsed by, you know what I mean? I don't have to jump on no bandwagons. Like, I just be myself. And that's what me and T do best. We just be ourselves. And really and truly, that's the leading by example that we need to be doing. Be ourselves, innit? Be yourself and be the best you can fucking be, man. And
Keep it authentic.
Everything will trickle down. Don't try and force nothing. But yeah, definitely. If you ask me about the 13th, yeah. If you ask me about Saturday, I'm saying blood. I weren't trying to go to no Black Lives Matter protest. I was laughing and giggling at people that were there. Also, I'm just like, I've been supporting the people before the people start supporting themselves. And I'm going to keep hitting
Facts.
home. Yeah, when we were out there for things that were happening on our soil at home, we weren't getting thousands of people joining up. When we were walking through the streets, stopping traffic, going into the communities, reaching out with preachers, Nation of Islam, gang members from opposing estates, mothers that's lost their kids. We were really out there, you know? And there weren't thousands of people looking to link up. We saying for the kids to put down their knives and stop killing each other and stop doing this. There weren't thousands of people out there. There weren't people saying Black Lives Matter. There weren't people like shedding tears and shaking and saying, we need to protect our women. Nobody came out. Yeah, Gappy Ranks came out and a couple people, like, you know what I mean? Couple ghetto youths came out. Can't really, that's when we
And
look.
that's why I want people to recognize that, because all these celebrities, especially these UK ones that are all coming out now, I just want people to note what Jed's just said, because no one was coming out then. No one.
So now it's, and I'm like, yo, I see man taking the knee. I see man saying, say his name. George Floyd, cool, but like, surely we should be saying, say his name, Mark Duggan. Say his name, Smiley Culture. Say his name, Rashawn, Edson. That's what we should be fucking with, yeah? We should be talking about how the system failed kids on North Peckham Estate that led to Damiola Taylor dying. We should be, do you know what I mean? Say, like, it'd be a Stephen Lawrence. We never did this for Stephen Lawrence. So when Katie Hopkins turns around and says that it doesn't seem like black people care about black lives, or black lives don't matter as much to black people until a white person's involved, and people getting all upset and rare,
Get bare triggered.
You gave the racist, tell me it's not true. Look in your fucking heart and say that is not true. It's fucking true, regardless of how you want to switch it. Oh yeah, this he was a police officer. Cool. But really and truly, you know someone that was stabbed this year, last year. You know someone that died this year, last year, the year before. You all do. It's got to the point where we know as many people that's been stabbed as people that's got cancer. Right? You've all known someone that's been stabbed. How many times did you go out and protest? How many times? What did you do in your community to try and change the lives of the young black men and the young black or the inner city children? Because it's not just a black issue. You didn't do nothing because it weren't trendy then. So allow me with your fake outrage, innit? Like it's long, innit?
Something else you said as well. I listened to your I forgot where it was that you said it on, but you were talking about if someone dies, like if someone has their family member die and people protest and shit like that, and you get like a road name and shit out of it, are you really gonna be happy and ting? And I see all these people. You know what though? What I like about you is when you heard about the road name, you mapped it out under Washington. You know about the whole pentagram thing, and you mapped it out, and you can already see the symbology of it all. Like I'd suggest most people go on either Google Maps or check out the
Black Lives Matter Boulevard, which was formerly 16th Street, which is the tip of the pentagram that was obviously built into the landscaping by the French Mason when Washington DC was built. It's what it is, man. It all points to ritual. It depends if you lot are fucking with that. I don't want to lose people and start talking about.
Nah, but even if it's not ritual, what I'm saying is, how are we happy about a road name change? Is that the change we wanted? A road name?
Nah, but like I said, people want different things, bro. We looking at the guard clocking his movements every 15 minutes. He shifts from one point to the next. You're looking at how quickly you could snatch his keys and knock him out. You've been training on your pillow and that. How quickly you can snatch the key and knock him out. You get me? We've been training for time. And next man just like complaining about we need some fresh towels up in this bitch. It's literally the big difference of someone planning to get out of jail and someone just looking to get some new equipment or something. Yo, the showers ain't working. We need we need some shower. Yo, we ain't had a shower in a week. And we're just there like with a spoon and that plastic spoon digging a massive hole. Mad thing. What's the
this question says
we have to fix as a race? The first thing we have to fix as a race, ourselves, the individual. We need to. The individual is broken, and I would say that how to fix you would be different from how to fix me. And stay away from people with dreams in bottles, man. Stay away with people, these fucking gurus telling you about your life. You get me? Like, wise people have noticed that mankind has a hole in them. I don't know if we started off with this hole in us, but we got a
Someone said
hole in us,
shrooms.
and and clever people make it their business to control us by offering us things to fill that hole with. And like I said, whether it be religion, politics, any subculture, weed, drugs, sex, food, people obsessed about everything, fashion, social media, music,
What other people think.
wherever it is, bodybuilding, fitness, veganism,
Oi, oi. Oi, oi.
yeah. But just remember, like, filling that gap with something external is never gonna solve it. No, if something is wrong internally and you don't apply internal medicine, you're always gonna have a dis-ease in it. You're always gonna be at a dis-ease in it, and that's gonna manifest one way or another. So, yeah, you can't eat your way to righteousness. You can't pray yourself. You can't join a religion and be righteous overnight. You gotta live righteous and you gotta be better people. And that starts from transforming who you really are in the dark, on your own, alone, with no one standing there, with no camera, when it's cold and
Yep.
it's raining, and there's no huge carnival type vibe, or there's no big energy to suck off. Because most of the people that go in are just energy vampires as well. That's another thing. They've turned energy vampirism, and it's because they don't know how to fuel their own energy. You get me? So they've learned a parasitic type of technique to leech onto others' energy rather than creating their own. We have the power of a star inside of us. You get me? We don't need no one's energy. We don't need nobody but you. And nobody's gonna give you the truth but you. Nobody's gonna fix you but you. No one's got the answers but you. So we get used to that. Yeah, it's scary, but you're alone. This is not a group sport. You lot all want it to be a group sport because you're scared. You want someone's hand. Oh, can you go to the toilet with me? But no, this is a solo thing. Once we perfect the solo thing, you won't even recognize the group thing because the group thing is gonna look like a solo thing. Because what you want for you is
Yeah,
what
it's
I
a
want for me.
byproduct. Yep.
You get me?
100. But most people feel comfortable only when they see others doing what they're doing. And that fucks it all up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It does. It does, man. It's mad, man. It's mad. Get me? But more questions, family tree. More questions. Big up, man. I hope you tell a friend that we did there as well. Tribal or racial? What unites us? Tribal.
And if one sec, before you answer that, if anyone's got questions, put them in the little question box thing. Also, Shaka, I don't want to touch on him anymore because I've said what like.
Yeah,
but
Shaka?
I don't want this to get. Wait, Sunday's one. I'll be talking about Shaka, and the person I was gonna mention, I put it on the thing, is Akala.
Okay.
And you know what? I'll wait for Sunday to do that. But again,
What was you gonna say
we
about?
have to pay attention.
What was you gonna say about?
I think he's very well educated and he's been prepared for the role that he's given very, very well. And he speaks great on what he touches on and whatnot. But again, we need to pay attention. And anyone, like you said, I believe the system has to go. Anyone that's trying to reform within the system or trying to gain a better footing within the system or is linked, because birds of a feather, anyone that is linked to things that we know are clearly against us. So say music industry, certain celebrities, this, that and the other. We know one eye symbolism. Go check out his comic book, innit? So we need to pay attention. Symbology will be their downfall. But the problem is we put people on a pedestal. And I don't, again, whether you like him or not, again, I think he chats great stuff, but we just need to pay attention to our leaders. And if he is someone that's legit and calm, then me saying what I'm saying now ain't going to be a problem if people are just paying more attention and being more thing. But if you notice the patterns, it always adds up in it to the same shit.
Yeah,
Same blue
my
tick
thing is
gangs,
this.
same.
My thing is this. Yeah. Don't trust the caller. Don't trust him at all. Don't trust the caller. Don't trust me.
Don't trust no one.
Don't trust Tizza.
Trust self.
You get me? Don't trust anyone. Like
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
there's
It really
no need.
is.
Yeah, like we're past that. Like if you tune into a caller and you're looking for someone to put on a pedestal, stool, or someone to vote for, someone to say, yeah, the people's champ, then like you're losing. Like the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror should be by far the most inspirational person you've ever set eyes on. And if they're not, then
I
something is
like that.
wrong, isn't it? Something is wrong. Like honestly, like because like I like a caller, innit? I spoke to him. I like him. Um, I can't vouch for a caller. Do you know what I mean? And I think it'd be wrong, even if I could, I'd still tell you to research, look into it. We've gone past the point of just trusting people and just, he chats sense and da, 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 da. You gotta
Yeah.
like, and furthermore, what are you looking for?
We get mesmerized with that shit.
A card has just gone into books. He's read books. The same books are available to you. Read, innit? If that's what it is, if a card is someone that you aspire to, read. You can read everything a card has read and more. Read, man. Do you know what I mean? But what we need to stop
From
doing,
time my man's
stop.
telling you to vote and
What
shit,
we need
that's
to
long.
stop doing is I like low key. I really like low key. Like, do you know what I mean? Low key's a friend. He's on some voting for Corbyn thing and whatnot, and that's how his mind is set up. Would I throw away low key for certain other man? Nah, low key's cool. Like, do you know what I mean? Low key's doing his thing. Akala's doing his thing. Like, for them man, the only insidious thing that you could ever really say about them is that they seem to be geared towards politics. So they're like with the politics thing, innit? Yeah, but like, part,
More about the industry.
is Akala in the industry? Yeah, I suppose so. Like, I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah, but like, is it? How great is it? I don't know. I'm sure he makes more money off like his his hip hop play and
Opera
yeah, and
thing
his
and yeah.
Shakespeare thing and that. I know, because he gets paid by the BBC, innit? So I'm sure he's getting his money in other ways. But man, I don't know, man. Everyone can be an opposition, innit? Everyone can be a turncoat. Anyone can be a snake. So let's just play it safe, innit? Play it safe. I
That's
don't
it.
want to,
Talking of
and I don't
BBC,
want to get
you seen that statue?
the statue of the boy thing and that. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I've
I.
seen the statue. I've seen the statue. We on statue watch now, though, isn't it? Like, and another joke thing, like we on statue watch. Like,
Do you know the funniest thing though, fam? I was walking around Amsterdam a couple years ago, and for the first time, I actually started looking at the architecture just on the random buildings through their little the shopping strip that they have that crosses the square, and you can see pictures of like children working in factories and getting eaten and sodomized, and it's like literally just into the artwork above the shops and shit like that. Like, I really think we just need to pay attention in general to where the fuck we are and what's going on.
yeah, man. It's like they say, hidden in plain sight. Yeah. You got next
Yeah,
question?
go on. Um,
Your family, ask some questions, please. Yeah. What is the ultimate long-term solution to stop black oppression globally? First of all, I rebuke the term globally. Yeah. Astaghfirullah. And what can black people do? Like, honestly, I feel like black people on their own do not have the power to free themselves. And black people being like a political class, melanated people have a much bigger force. Your labeling has to kind of be right. If we're just talking about people that want to be free and recognize the oppressive system, then you got a lot. Yo, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yo, you there?
yeah, yeah.
Go on. You said if you want to be free, you got to recognize the system or something like that.
Um,
No. If you recognize that it's an oppressive system, I think you're saying there's a
yeah.
lot more
So
like
yeah,
of us.
like I said, isn't it? If you want blacks to be free, then everyone else is gonna have to be free.
Touching on that, I
Who was it
think
that asked the question? Because I want to see if they got any more feedback. But yeah, my opinion is, if you want blacks to be free, then you got to free other people as well. Everyone else got to be free. You know what I mean?
on
What is the big?
that,
Yeah.
quickly, I've noticed that a lot of, I don't know if it's Pan-African people or people with a lot of pro-black ideology, they seem to want the same system just in reverse. Like they just want to be at the top of the pyramid structure type thing. They don't mind the system, they just want to be controlling it.
And I can't blame them. I can't blame them. I can't blame them. Fuck it.
No one's blaming them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we need to be wary of...
You get punched in the face so much, you start getting a strong urge to punch someone in the face. That's just how it goes.
Yeah,
It's the nature of man, isn't it? Like obviously, if they can overcome that need for tit for tat, but that's a result of being in a war. You know, it's altered people's consciousnesses. It's altered people's mind states. People are in constant stress. You know, your super conscious is aware of your bondage. I believe. You get me? Your higher self is aware of your bondage, and that in some way is going to cause you some distress. We've got so much people out here with anxiety and depression, but they're all fucking waking up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're waking up, man.
Illusions are shattering.
What is the biggest problem that affects us all that would enable us to unite? What's the biggest problem that affects us all?
The illusion of separation.
I would say that the biggest problem that affects us all is our lack of ability to choose our own destinies, to determine our own destinies. Our lack of sovereignty is mankind's biggest problem.
I think our illusion of separation, because a lot of people do things for their family they won't do for others. A lot of people do things for their skin folk that they won't do for others. A lot of people do things for their gender that they won't do for others. And if we broke all of them divisions down and the illusions, I think we'd do a lot more for people in general.
Yeah, I like the idea of the whole village aspect, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we got to go bit by bit, but yeah, treat everyone like you want to be treated is a nice little ethos to try and live by. It is though, isn't it? It's cute. It's cute, man.
Man's mocking it.
No, it ticks boxes, bro. It ticks boxes. It does tick boxes.
No, I feel you.
It ticks boxes, man. Yeah, it'd be something to aspire to, isn't it? Yeah, what's good for you is good for me. That like if we can live like that, then yeah, we're gonna be good. But
yeah,
anyway,
I think that if we can, any system that oppresses one should be oppressive to all, innit? And I think we need to start heading towards that. I'm not saying we can get there overnight, but I feel like we need to start heading towards a mentality that is more like that. If there shouldn't be injustice.
There shouldn't be injustice. I hear you still, but I don't even know about that. When I think about justice, I have to ask myself if I even know what justice is. Has my brain acclimatized to understand what justice truly is? I've got a perverted sense of what justice is. I've learned it. I've learned it from perverts. You get me? I've learned it from perverts, man. And it's gonna be like like I said, didn't it? If we went to Instagram Island, we started the island, Instagram Island, and we literally found a way to just be left alone and just to live. We get the complexities of simple human interactions are going to be there for us to discover again, but we get to discover it in our way. You get me? As long as we don't come with too many preconceived ideas of how a society should run, we get to discover bit by bit through trial and error what works and what doesn't for us, innit? Yeah. And we get to decide it for ourselves. If we fuck up, it's on us, and if we succeed, it's on us. But that's what we got. Autonomy. Autonomy is very much important, man. Do you know what I mean?
I think your trial and error point, I think a lot of people need to realize that. I don't think there's anyone that knows a full solution to everything, and I think it's gonna take a lot of trial and error, and we can't be scared to fail.
Yeah, man. Like anything's gonna be better than this, but it's not gonna be nice. Like someone said to me, so if it kicks off,
Hey, Wagwan Mel. What you saying? You ready for Sunday, yeah? Enough people are waiting to hear you on Shaka. Come on. I said I'll stop saying that on the gram, innit? Like, I really need to stop. Appreciate everyone that was listening. Me getting back on. There he is. Come with the fire, Mel. Like, so many people are waiting for that one.
What happened?
No, that was just the end of the hour, innit? But because I had to downgrade my IG, it don't give me no warnings. It don't let me share to my live. Like, it's just yeah, it's long. But I've been screen recording from the off, so hopefully it would
Yeah,
save.
sick. Right.
But yeah, go on. You might want to last 15, 20 minutes or something.
I'm down, man. I'm cool, man. I'm sitting on my sofa. I'm relaxed, wiggling my toes. I'm good, man. So, yeah.
All right. Just quickly, last things on this Saturday thing. Well, got a couple questions. If anyone's got questions, put them in and we'll get to them. But just on the Saturday thing because me and Jeds have different opinions on this, innit? But I'll back Jeds. Like, I'll ride, innit? He's on going there to protect and make sure that the peace is kept and things like that.
No. I'm officially going to the protest to observe and enjoy people peacefully protesting. That's
Say no more.
That's my official reason for going to the protest. I want to go and be peaceful. I want to be super peaceful. You hear me?
And I think a lot of people should go to observe.
Yeah, and be very peaceful. Be very peaceful. Make peace with your brothers. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, if you see them getting into any peace, help them piece it out. Do you know what I mean? Piece up the place. Nah, but
it's not just for black people. White people come. You might see your colleagues on the other side, and you might be able to create some unity.
Because I've seen in America, white folks made like a buffer between the protesters and the police, and I think that was really that was amazing. So any white folks that want to make like a buffer between any resistant lines, you know, I respect that, man. Go and throw yourself head first, man, because you lot are really down for this Black Lives Matter thing, like proper down for it. So yeah, man, jump in. Don't let that beat there. Go up front. I think that the white folks...
That's it. I'm looking for all these businesses, all these L'Oreals and Gucci's and Louis Vuittons that put their blackout things. I'm looking for them on the front line on Saturday.
I think white folks should be like the strikers up front, starting position. Yeah.
Defend from the front, innit?
The white homies are like, nah, he's trying to draw us up. Yeah, man. I want to see you lot at the front, on the front line. Do you agree with BLM movement? Is there like only a certain amount of characters you can put in a question?
I think so, yeah. I ain't sure.
Do you agree with the Black Lives Matter movement? And if so, yes or no, why? Do I agree? It's like a loaded question. Do I agree with them? All right. Taking away, do I agree with the 3 lesbian founders of Black Lives Matter? Well, we'd have to go to their mission statement page to find out if I agree with what they stand for, because clearly a bunch of people in the streets screaming out slogans is not going to help me identify what this organization stands for. So when you go to their website and you go to their blurb about me and whatever it's about, then you get to find out their manifesto. And then, like, personally, I don't agree with their manifesto. I think their manifesto is rude. It's rude. Like, and it's actually disgusting. Because what you've done is you've linked a real social issue of oppression and racism and robbery and rape and murder and false imprisonment and kidnap, and you've mixed it with, oh, I like bum bum a little. I like bum bum more than vagina. Oh, I feel like I'm a woman. I feel like I'm a man. I feel like, great. Like, you can feel all them ways, but like, why are you linking that to
Onto this,
this? Like,
piggybacking.
it's like I always use this analogy. It's like gate crashing Specsavers with all this memorabilia for all this stuff for deaf people for the Deaf Foundation, and it's like, yo, like there's a time and a place. This is serving people that are visually impaired or the audio impaired. At least create your own little section somewhere else. Or, you know what I mean? But you've tried to kidnap a, a narrative and spin it to basically like sneak the transgender agenda into the racial, like the topic of racial issues internationally. Like it's a sneak job. Like you shouldn't be doing that. Like no one should be bringing
Conflating these
their personal things
choices.
choices. Like it's like we talking about Black Lives Matter, yeah. We talking about police brutality. We talking about systemic oppression. We talking about institutional racism, yeah. And then you want to bring in the fact that oh yeah, and the NHS done a bad job when you have the baby and your cesarean scar is like 2 centimeters too long. Like, okay, like I think that you've got a case and you should go to the NHS and you should file. But we here talking about racism, 400 plus years of slavery, a curriculum that is a shambles. Like we talk about the international conspiracy to keep melanated people around the world on the bottom rung. That's what we're talking about. So why are we talking about who you fancy and who you're attracted to? That's what if that's what Black Lives Matter are focused on, and that's what they put in the first few lines of their manifesto, then obviously that organization isn't as serious about the things that I've faced. You get me? If you're looking to create a safe place for trans and homosexuals and all that, by all means do that. But then, like, you're trying to identify that with a deeper struggle, which I think is actually rude. It's actually fucking rude, and no one would do that if it came to anything else. No one would be trying to link on the LGBT to the Holocaust survivors. No one's trying to do that. Yeah, well, I think Jew gay lives matter, and yeah, we set up this Jew gay. So we said Holocaust survivors matter, right? And then when you go to the website, on the first or the second line of the whole manifesto is talking about trans Jews, gay Jews, gender fluid Jews, and you're like, yo, so we're gonna talk about the Holocaust or what? Tell me. Man, they come like they're filling out a Tinder fucking profile, telling us all about their sexual preferences, and this is what I'm saying. That in my mind, because on this journey, I've encountered members of the LGBT that are highly interested in black issues. They're highly interested in, whatever. Yeah, like I said, black issues. But what happens sometimes is during the course of talking or whatever, it comes out that the agenda that's at the foremost of their mind is their sexual identity. That's what is their burning issue, more than racism, more than, do you know what I mean? It's their sexual identity. And more time when you're trying to talk about your sexual identity, it's not the time or the place. We're on the roads trying to talk to the youths about don't nank each other. You want to talk about, yeah, we need more gay rights and more, and it's like the two things are not mixed. You've cleverly for years been trying to mix the black race and sexuality, and we've been rejecting it the whole time. Now we've come to a point where we're so tired. The movement that actually seems to have any kind of momentum, obviously we know for reasons why, but the movement that has momentum is openly ran by black lesbian feminists, and it is what it is. Like, I got nothing against you being black or a lesbian or a feminist, but like you've got all these things, like that take away from your fight for this one thing. So I'm a focus on groups that are focused on black empowerment. I'm a focus on groups that are focused on racism. I'm a focus on groups that are focused on communities, no matter what race, coming together. I'm gonna do all of that before I've got any time to sit down and worry about your right to do whatever you want sexually. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I
yeah,
feel that.
we need to stop making
This
stuff.
question
We need to
says,
stop making these things about sex, man. Like, you lot are so selfish and so self-centered. You just always got sex on the mind. Like, you think that the whole world is worried about who you're having sex with. You lot are taking liberties. You're actually taking liberties.
no
Go
one
have sex, man.
cares.
Why do you have to tell everyone
In it
about?
though.
Why do you have to tell everyone about who you're having sex with? And why do you want our kids to learn about sex so much? Why is sex such a big fucking tool?
That's my thing. Why you want the children to be?
Just do other stuff. Get me? And before you come protest at Black Lives Matter, you better go and talk to your drag queen story readers and that. You get me? And ask them what that's all about. Get me? Like I asked the gay man, do you think? I asked the gay man and a lesbian woman, do you think that there is a agenda to skew the genders or to promote homosexuality? And they both said yes. They both said yes, and I agree, and we disagree with it, and we're against it. So I was like, all right, cool. Then one week, the girl just turned around and she was like, yeah, and the man said, yeah, you man just gotta stop, like, putting down the gay man them, yeah, and the it's like, oh my god, what was this? Yeah, man, she don't fuck with me no more. She don't chat to me no more. Cause man's not like part of her gay agenda. One time she hollered me, yeah, because I used to do a podcast. One time she hollered me and she said, yeah, I got this idea. Obviously, you man got your like traditional values and your traditional views, and then we've got the man them that are like gay and whatnot, and it'd be good to have like a conversation and we're around to highlight and I'm just like, man, you know how busy man is. I ain't got time for none of that, man. Like, what is this? This is so, but obviously the telltale signs keep showing me selfishness means, or maybe not selfishness, but you have your agenda that is at the top of your list, isn't it? You've got the thing that you're most concerned
Priorities.
with, right? And you're allowed to. But let's just call it what it is. You're more focused on that and your sexual liberation and your freedom, and I'm more focused on being able to phone a real estate agent and them tell me that the house is or that the place that I'm looking for is vacant and I can come and do a viewing, rather than having to put a white counterpart on just for them to like. Because this has happened to me. There was an agency that just kept ignoring my calls, and I put someone white on the phone, and they got
Back to them.
they got back to them. They got a viewing and all sorts. You get me? So these are little things that But anyway, carry on.
No, I feel you. Next question says, is the direction getting lost in the source due to all the fake outrage?
The direction of what? Of what? Of the movement?
I'm guessing where we need to be heading.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know if we ever been heading in the same direction. What direction are we talking about? Like, I just want to be real with you, innit? I don't want to say like fancy words to you. I don't know what you mean by direction or whatever. Should we be using bad energy to gain freedom? Magic or energy to gain freedom? Yeah, definitely. I'll say definitely use energy, and it just depends on what you call magic. If you're on a Ouija board thing, or on some
fucking with them grimoires even.
If you like, it just depends on what you're on. Personally, let me put it like this. Yeah, this is something that I try to live by. Inside of you, like I said earlier, you have the power of a star. You have the power of atoms colliding. You have infinite energy, and you should be tapping into that via as pure a form as possible. I personally would warn people away from using signs, symbols, sigils, external things, crystals. Unfortunately, some of you lot ain't gonna like it. Sage, all of these somethings. Yeah, the magic that I think you should be dealing with is the internal magic that requires no external whatever trinkets or paraphernalia, and I think that's the purest form of magic you can summon, and that's like it's basically will. If you can will something into existence, then you're really you're doing your thing. But if you get caught up, because I mean, a lot of these people that are dabbling in things, I know a lot of people doing tarot and all these different things, and they start finding that things are not really going right in their life. They start finding that the more that they start dealing with, the more they start tinkering with, that, like, you know, they get bad effects. But not many people are vocal about the bad effects. You know, I know a group of like 4 or 5 girls. We both know them, heavily into witchcraft, vegans into witchcraft, running around trying to put spells on man them and that, fucking themselves up when they're bumping into bad man that they can't put spells on, and shit's backfiring. And then I've got one girl on the phone saying that she feels something trying to pull the sheets away. Another one saying that she's getting half mad. She has to speak to a spiritualist. But when you go on their sites, when you go on their Instagram pages, they're all love and light and gold auras and all like, oh, life is so great, and my kid's such an adventurous, outgoing guy, and but you lot are like literally in bits from the energies and things that you're messing around with. So please be careful. That's what I'm saying, innit? Just be careful. This shit's real.
And
you can vouch.
I'll just add to what you said about the trinkets and things. A lot of people might get a bit triggered, but those things should be more like stepping stones rather than using them as crutches. Use them as like to help you get to where you are without them, kind of thing. So don't see that as the final thing if you are going to be using those types of things and whatnot.